This is Nasty Neal.
This is Terrible Troy.
And this is Without Your Head. And we're here to review Mother. Which is
we are.
I was very excited to see.
Yep. Last week we were all geeked up, had incredibly high expectations for it, and it blew them away. I loved it. We both did.
Yeah. High expectations and even outperformed our expectations.
Yes, indeed.
This one I thought that the trailers looked great. They looked wild. And it was very ambiguous about what the movie's about.
So totally geeked up for that. Javier Bardem, we love. Always constantly good and everything.
So go into it, and it's a very slow build.
Which I don't have any problem with.
It's like kind of a 70s kind of movie.
Yeah, we can bide our time, wait in the weeds, see what develops.
Yeah, so they're building this tension and just, this odd...
very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Very uncomfortable vibe.
Mysterious atmosphere.
Yep.
Things aren't quite what they seem. There's something odd going on. There's something odd about Javier's, his character, the husband character.
Yep.
He's very secretive.
Yeah, and just kind of a dick.
Yeah. And he has mysterious, people come to see him.
Yeah, and it starts out, you get Ed Harris stops by, and you're like, what the hell's Ed Harris doing here? And his wife's all freaked out. And so he stays for a day.
Yeah, for like a day. He gets very sick, and then he's fine, and it's all odd.
Yep, and then his wife shows up,
which it takes everyone by surprise, especially the Jessica. The hell's her name?
Beats me.
Let me look her up here.
One of those random.
Yeah.
The female actress du jour.
Mm-hmm. Jennifer Lawrence.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
So she thinks things are weird.
Yep. And Javier he blows her off pretty much most of the time, and he's nice to Ed Harris.
Yeah, and Ed Harris' wife I haven't seen in a movie for a long time. What's her? Michelle Pfeiffer.
Michelle Pfeiffer. Yep.
She looks very good for an older one.
Absolutely.
And so they're building up some weird. I like this atmosphere. Something weird's going on.
Yeah, so up to half an hour in, still build. Still build.
Some more build. More people show up.
Yep.
More.
Couple of
you
kids,
don't know what's
their
happening.
Kids show up.
Still all mysterious.
Yep. And then there's something with the house. And then the wife gets these strange pains in her abdomen, and she takes some
yellow tea or something.
Yeah, some yellow
yellow
sun
Alka-Seltzer.
Juice. Yeah, squirts it in some water and drinks it, and then she feels better.
So I'm thinking this is like Rosemary's Baby kind of deal going on.
So did I, because then Ed Harris,
son of the devil in her,
where he's staying in a room, and there's something in his toilet that isn't quite right.
Yeah, it's almost like an aborted creature.
Yeah, I thought maybe all right, there's something going on. Some kind of critters living in these people, or
people playing
something
soccer.
definitely ain't right.
Yeah. This is a soccer ball bounces by it on the road.
Kind of strange too.
Well, at least there's a person going after it. If not, that would have been very bizarre. And so after a while, you're like, okay, there's enough build. Let's have something happen.
And then every now and then you get a little dialogue with Javier and his wife. And
it's all the same.
Yeah. She's like, I don't want these people in the house. And he's like, oh, do not worry. I will talk to you later. Yeah. And then he disappears. Right. He wanders off. He goes off with Ed into the woods.
He never gives her a direct answer of any kind.
And then he almost does, but then they're pulled away for
and
some other stupid thing happens.
And because she is pregnant, so this has to be going over at least 9 months.
Is she pregnant at that time?
At some point in time.
Yeah, then she gets pregnant.
So at some point in time she gets pregnant. So
and she still looks like this supermodel with a fake belly on her, which was my first clue in that this movie was going downhill.
But saying this, so this is months going by. So and she still just puts up with, hey, I'll be back, and
I have something to tell. I will tell you. I must go.
It's just this big phony smile. So the house starts to get weirder. People are coming and they're putting up pictures of themselves.
Yeah, and Javier's turning into more and more of an asshole. But then after a while, you're like, well, the wife kind of deserves it because she's just whiny and she can't put her foot down. You know, like all these strange people are showing up, and she's not like, okay, look, I'm getting out of here. If you're not kicking these people out, I'm walking out the door. It's always, oh, they have to go. We must talk. And then he wanders off, and then she forgets. And takes some happy yellow juice. Yeah. Until she gets pregnant, and then she stops taking that.
So then
and it's never heard of again. We don't know.
No, it's not really explained. Nothing's really explained. Which is fine, you know, if you want to leave it up to your imagination, your interpretation, but... Yep.
And then what point does it kind of go off the rails?
Probably like an hour, maybe even a little later. Over an hour into it, I'd say.
The movie seemed like it was 8 hours long.
Oh, yeah, it seems like an eternity.
Yeah.
Because then things just go crazy. There's hundreds of people in the house, and then it seems like they go over, like, the last 15 or 20 minutes of the movie. Seems like it's in real time, but yet it seems like it would be over like a month.
It would have to be, because hundreds of people show up to the house. So Javier is he a poet? Is he a writer?
He's a poet.
All right. And so he's got writer's block, and suddenly he writes the world's greatest poem, and everybody falls in love with him, and they show up, and they just want to touch him, and he smears some ink on their head, and they each have a photo of him, and he starts singing Tommy songs, and he's like, come to me now. No, he doesn't really do that.
Yeah.
It would have been more entertaining if he had.
Yeah, so like, if we explain it might kind of sound good, but the pacing of the movie is so bizarre because it's so slow, incredibly slow.
Yeah, nothing's happening.
And then when the stuff really starts to happen, it doesn't seem real. There's like a hyper reality. It's like there's stuff happening, but it can't possibly be happening as quick as it's happening.
And it seems like stuff out of like Monty Python, because like it starts off with just a bunch of like ass clown showing up going, hey man, I want your autograph, I want a picture with you.
Yeah.
And then his wife's like, get these people out of here because I'm gonna have my baby any second, and there's 500 assholes outside.
And then all of a sudden, then the cops come.
We must stop.
Yeah, people.
And then he wanders off and talks to all the
They're pushing
fans.
people in cages. They're ripping the house apart, taking front pieces of everything.
Yeah, they need pieces. They want to have a part of Javier, and he says, we need more room. Build an extension. A colorful palace. Spare no expense now. He doesn't say anything.
He should have.
He should have.
Yeah, the cops come, and then like the SWAT team, and then so there's missiles and machine guns, and then there's...
And she's ready to give birth, and they're trying to usher her out. Like, some people are actually nice people.
Yeah, and some people are being executed, by
his agent, by Javier's agent, who was a perfectly normal woman. But
then they're gonna kill her at one point.
Yep.
And all this happens so quickly.
It digresses into, and you're waiting for anything to happen during the first hour and 15 minutes.
Right.
Anything at all would have been like...
Yeah, then all this is just hitting you.
Just
and then
crammed in there.
And the sound is so loud.
It's
so you're just
stupid loud. And the sound effects, at some point, and don't worry because we're not spoiling anything because they don't explain shit in this movie. And so the woman, she is getting ready to give birth, and she has these spasms, and the whole house shakes, and you feel like you're in the shaken house.
Yeah,
it is so crazy loud.
Yeah, everything's just being inundated with sound and noise, and there's a part where they screams, and it's just so incredibly loud.
Yep. So then she does give birth.
Yeah. Then we're in crazy town.
Then we really go psychotic. Because,
which I think if someone would explain the scene to me, I'd probably think that sounds pretty awesome.
true. Well, first off, they kind of barricade themselves. It's just her and Javier.
Yeah.
And she gives birth, and there's 500 assholes outside the door.
Yeah.
So she got a bouncing baby boy, and Javier's like, he looks out to see if the people are still there, and they're all still there, and they give him some clothes.
Yeah,
and he comes in with a big smile on his face with a basket of food and some clothes, and they gave us gifts.
Mm-hmm.
And he's all happy, and she's like, there's 500 psychos in our house. Why don't you get rid of them?
Tell them to leave. No.
Well, first he does. Remember, he walks
he's
out,
like, okay.
and then they give him some more shit, and he comes in with a big smile, and he's like, they gave us more gifts. She said, no, you got to tell them to leave.
One thing was like a basket of eggs.
Yeah.
So did they just eat like raw eggs?
I think so,
something?
probably. Well, because then when she tells him to get rid of everybody, then he's like, no. I must give you no explanation, but no. I must show the baby to them.
Then we
She's
get
like, no, get the hell out of here. You're not showing my baby to anybody.
It's really long, silly like scene where it's her. First she's breastfeeding, and so she's holding the baby, and she doesn't want to fall asleep because every time she starts to sleep, he's just sitting there.
Yeah,
unblinking, staring at her. Yeah, and it seems like days go by because like it seems like it's night and it's day.
Yep.
So she's just sitting in the same spot. I guess she just pisses herself.
I guess so.
I don't know. So just sitting there. And so eventually she falls asleep and then she wakes up. The baby's gone. Then we get Crazy Town because he's passing the baby amongst us.
Yeah,
he's
he's all
people.
happy, and he's like, hey, look at my child.
And so they're passing it all over their heads, and like it's
it's body surfing like all over the joint.
Yeah, and then you get this really horrible scene of it just breaking its neck.
Yep. And then to make it even better, then they eat it.
Yeah,
they take like pieces of it, and everybody in the crowd's like, whoa, whoa.
Yeah, so these massive people are eating the baby, which honestly, if I would hear that, I'd think, well, this sounds like a movie for me. It sounds fucking crazy. But it's so just dumb in the context of the film.
Because then Javier's nowhere in sight. And she's there, and then she grabs a piece of broken glass and kills, like 6 or 7 people?
Yeah, just starts killing everybody.
Yeah. And then they're like, hey, we don't want you.
Fuck out of her.
We don't want you killing us.
Like, kill the bitch, kill the whore,
they
kill the
stomping her ass, and
which I thought was going to be the end. I thought they was going to rip her apart.
Yeah. But then he decides to intervene then. He's like, whoa, don't attack my wife.
It's like, you can eat my baby.
I don't know why he became Italian just then, but he's like,
You can eat my baby, don't hit my wife.
And then, he, I think he takes her.
Yeah.
And
she somehow gets away from him.
And then he says, put on your eye shades, put in your earplugs. You know where to put the cork.
That's really going to be loud on that.
Sorry. It's going to sound like you're in this movie now. Yeah, so then she wanders off into some place that you had seen earlier in the movie that, kind of like the rest of the movie, you never expected to go back there again because they forgot about everything that happened in the first 3 quarters of the movie. And then she does something, and then blows up the house, and it sucks.
Blows up the house. Yeah. We're just gonna spoil the movie because it's awful.
Yeah, because it sucks.
Blows up the house, and he's totally fine. He's carrying her burn up body, and he's like, I'm Lie. I think I don't know. I'm Lie.
I'm God. I'm Lie. I'm Tommy. I'm some bullshit.
And you're Hope, and then something about love, and rips her heart out.
Yeah, the smashes it. It was making you deaf. It was so loud. And then when he's talking at the end, trying to explain whatever senseless things,
I assume it's like a parable for God, and
it would have to.
And Jesus, he gave his begotten Son, and then people are eating him, kind of like this is the flesh and the blood. But it's fucking terrible.
It was just awful. And Javier, who I usually love, he wasn't very good. Well, he didn't have much to work with. I guess he was all right.
Yeah, I can't really blame anybody.
No, it's true.
Besides the writer and the director.
The writer was terrible. But I thought the main woman was really bad. I just thought, like, she wasn't believable at all.
No, the whole movie isn't, because it's just so...
It's true.
I don't think it's really meant to be. I think it's meant to be some kind of, fable or...
Maybe. So after all this stuff happens and they eat her kid and, like, he brings her back to life and to relive this whole useless thing over and over and over again.
We thought we were going to have to watch it again.
And then everybody in the crowd starts to laugh, which I don't think was the...
Well, I think they laughed because you quite loud said, like, I fucking hated that movie.
That's true. I did. So maybe maybe I kind of instigated that one a little bit. I couldn't help myself, though, because that movie really, it made me very angry.
It was the shit. I don't know how this got made. Like, I don't know how someone wrote this. Someone that's like something we can make. And
I
then
think the proofreader just skimmed over it. He's like, yeah, it looks good.
Yeah, like there probably is a couple good ideas if you just, like I said, if I just told you, and they eat a baby, you're like, okay, sure, that sounds cool.
Yeah.
But I don't know how it got past that, and when they started to film it, then anyone think well, what the fuck do we have here? And then when they start editing it, don't they think this just isn't a movie. This is just
there was somebody when they're reading the script, are you sure about this, man?
This is just junk. It's just garbage you got here.
I think Ed Harris wanted to tell somebody, but then they're like, you get to kiss Michelle Pfeiffer, and he's like, I always wanted to kiss Michelle Pfeiffer, so I'm not saying anything to anybody.
I mean, it's got a loaded cast.
And the cast was great, but not in this movie.
I'll never watch this movie again.
No, there is absolutely no chance in hell. I don't think I could be drunk enough to ever watch this movie.
Besides just the madness of it.
Yeah, which wasn't even really as fun as we kind of probably made it sound.
It's because it's so just absurd. It's just
and it seems to go on forever. They just go from room to room, to scene, from one stupid crazy thing to another one. I expected cowboys and Indians in one of the rooms and Roman soldiers just walking through. It was just ludicrous.
It's really annoying, the guy, because he keeps saying I'll tell you something.
And then he'll have this stupid smile on his
and
face.
he just wanders away.
Yep.
And this is for 2 hours. Good God.
Yep. And then you can't feel any sympathy for her because she's putting up with all this nonsense. You're like, and then the whole reason behind it was she loved him.
A son, yeah. So is this faith? Does she represent faith in the Lord? Because
and why would you love this guy? Because he's an asshole.
Maybe it's saying that God's an asshole.
Could be. So you just gotta,
So I'm not really sure what side it's taking.
It's much deeper than I gave it credit for.
God's just
what a terrible movie.
Like a dick. But he's smiling a lot.
That's true, and if you believe in him, then you deserve it. This is what this movie's telling.
Yeah, he didn't do shit to stop it. He encouraged it.
Yep. Yeah, this was really bad times. I really wanted to like the movie. I kept thinking, where are we going with this? What's going to be the
for a
payoff?
long time, thinking it's starting to get kind of dull here, but
yep.
But don't worry, they're going to get somewhere. But they
after
got
about an hour, I was like, okay, we should probably be getting somewhere pretty soon, and we really weren't.
Mm-hmm.
And then when we did get there, I wanted to go back and can we try again and go a different direction? Yeah. Can we, when you get into the Pick-a-Path book and they're like, well, if you want Javier to be, Tommy, turn to page 32. If you want Javier to be a vampire, then turn to page 79. And I would think, turn to page 72 for the devil. Then turn to 72 or 79. Let's not turn to page 32. Let's go back. Let's have a do-over.
Yeah. There was a big thing about after they ate the baby too. About he's like, we must forgive. So, I mean, that was right out of the Bible,
Yeah. Well, it
forgive
was the
them.
same
They don't know what they do.
When Ed Harris's kid dies earlier in the movie, and Javier gives this big silly speech, and Then they all toast and say, hey, it's not so bad, our kid's dead. Hooray!
Yeah.
And then some other ass clown with a smudge on his head. He must have been the high priest or something.
Yeah.
Didn't like him either.
I can't imagine. I would like to hear from someone who liked the movie.
Yeah.
To hear why.
Yeah, I dislike everything about that movie.
Yeah. It's just shits. So how many,
All right, Ed Harris was the best part, and he was in it for about 4 minutes. Yeah, out of our headless bodies,
our bloody stumps,
I'm gonna give this one 0. Absolutely none. Not a shoe, not a stump, not a shoulder, not anything. I can't tell you how much I hated this movie. I just loathed it.
I'm gonna give it like a quarter of a stump, just for the pure audacity that anyone could possibly get this movie made.
All right, whoever snuck it through everybody.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure it had a pretty big budget.
Mm-hmm.
So that guy deserves a quarter. You're right.
Yeah, like you can give it 0.
A leg.
Fine. Yeah, like some type of stump, like just a limb
from the knees down.
Yeah,
something like that.
Right.
Yeah, that was just a terrible movie. So do yourself a favor and don't see this movie.
Yeah, I do not recommend it. All right. Well, this is Nasty Neal.
This is Terrible Troy.
This is without
your head.
Join me here.